Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about how to do Liberty with newer horses at Liberty or greener horses, and just kind of like, I'm going to maybe start this as a series if you guys like these kind of videos and see how this video goes. But I'm going to be explaining like everything that I'm doing and talking about like how to do this with your horse and like, what to expect and all that other good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm going to talk about Pandora in a minute and just a little bit about her, but for right now, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing, and I'll get into it as So I brought her out, groomed her, put a rope halter on her. I always feel like rope halters are good to do Liberty in because it kind of defines regular halter from rope halter. Like the rope halter, like you work, like that means a working halter, and it's like, it's pressure points where it hits differently. But right now, I'm just desensitizing. I also like a neck rope and a really long dressage whip, and that's just going to encourage the horse, and you can also teach it to like touch the dressage whip and like to follow it. So right now I'm just letting her, first I let her sniff it, and I'm just kind of rubbing it all over her body, and you want to make sure you rub it all over them and like tap it on them and let them get used to this whip that's on them, and not like, don't like smack, you don't ever use it to smack with, you just rub and just kind of gently tap so they get used to it and they don't get startled while you're using it during your session. But I'm talking a little bit about this horse. So this is Pandora. She's my friend's horse, and I was watching her while she's out of town. She's a 6-year-old off the track thoroughbred, and I've ridden her a couple times. She's such a good girl, and she knows basic Liberty. She knows how to disengage her hindquarters, pivot, and follow you at a walk. So that was good. She didn't really like the lunge whip over her head, but what my trainer always says is new side, new horse. So I switched sides with her, and as you can see, she's definitely a little more skittish on this side than she was on the other side. So she's moving away from pressure. That's okay. I can remove the pressure, let her kind of calm down, let her sniff, and I continued. Then she was pretty okay. She could tell she's a little high on alert. But then she started licking and chewing, and when they lick and chew, that means, like, they understand what you're doing, and they understand what you're asking them to do, and, like, they just really understand what's going on, and, they're content about what's happening, so they're not, like, freaking out or anything. And so, yeah, so I just kept on doing that, tapped her on her butt, and then we kind of just, we're standing there for a minute. I was kind of waving her around, letting her sniff it. But I always like to start by grooming the horse and just like kind of getting to know the horse. And I am wearing my helmet, because I don't know her very well. She kind of knows me. Like, we don't know each other like great, but I know she's sweet. She's a little interesting in my round pen. So and it's really cold that day, and I just did not want anything to happen to either of us. So for both of our safeties, we're wearing a helmet and taking other precautions. So basically, I think I was talking to someone at this point, but I'm just kind of like waving the lunge up around, not really like making it like a big deal that it's like there, like the lunge was fine, it's not gonna hurt you, like dressage whip, not lunge whip. And so like, yeah, so I'm gonna skip forward to where we're actually doing something. I always find that treats are really good reinforcement, especially with horses that are learning to do things, and like you're getting to know, like if the horse is really food motivated, they're more willing to follow it. So at this point, I have her on a rope halter, and I'm just adjusting the camera. But so I'm going to ask her to just follow me, like we're just walking, like, I don't know, to the stall or to the pasture, just like, just walking in general. And I'm going to reinforce her by telling her that she's a good girl, giving her some pets, giving her some treats, and this is going to reinforce, this is what you do if a horse didn't know anything. So we're going to, even though she does know how to walk on a, next to you, we're just going to like, I'm going to show you. But, so I was reinforcing that, and just the fact that she knew that, this is good, like, following me next to me is good. And it's also okay if your horse, not particularly when they're on a lead rope, but when they're off of it, if they want to follow behind you, that's totally fine. Because some horses would prefer to follow behind rather than next to, so that's totally fine. And don't go out there and be like, in the first day, be like, oh yeah, my horse is going to do it today. I wish I knew that before I tried Liberty for the first time, because I realized that if you rush it, you can just start right over. And that's kind of like, I feel like what I did with Frank, and now we're starting over, which is fine, but I wish I did not rush it, shall I say. So, right now, I'm just getting some respect out of Pandora, asking her to disengage her hindquarters, and I'm using the whip for a little encouragement. I'm looking at her hind, and I'm telling her to move off, and that's just gonna tell her that, like, you need to respect me, this is, like, my space, like, you know, kind of thing, like, so that she did really good for that. And then I asked her to just walk around me, and so by walking around me, I'm telling her, like, you need to learn to, like, be able to move out of my space, you know, and be able to, like, respect and, like, watch me and, like, keep, like, make eye contact. And I also then she was kind of confused, like, why she was on such a short little, like, lead rope and having to go around me. So I just, like, used the lunge line. I just kind of guided her with it, and then I asked her to change direction to see if she's really listening, and she kind of got confused there. And then I stepped more into her drive line so she understood, and used the lunge up to guide a little bit. And then she was like, wait, are we disengaging the hindquarters? And then she's like, oh, I gotta walk this way. So it's okay if your horse gets confused, and if your horse freaks out at any time, don't be like, oh my gosh, just make it such a big deal out of it. Just pretend like nothing happened and just keep moving on. Because if you make a big deal out of it, they're gonna make a bigger deal out of it next time. So I told her she's a good girl, gave her some treats, and then, so reinforcements are always really good. Petting, rubbing it on their forehead, rubbing their neck, treats. So then I moved the pullback, and I wanted to get her brain kind of working more than just, like, you know, walking around in a circle. So once I got the pullback, I asked her to walk over it. And so I'm just teaching her that following me is good. So right here, she's, like, behind me, which is fine, because, you know, we're doing a little bit different things than just, like, you know, like leading kind of thing. So she's following me, or now she's next to me, and I'm just, like, walking over the pole, and then we, like, change direction so she can see, like, you know, she needs to follow me. And then I drop the lead rope, so I only have it with one hand, and you can also halt, and, like, so see if they're really paying attention to you. I drop the lead rope, only have it by one hand, so she could, like, literally just, like, you know, walk away if she really truly wanted to. So that kind of, like, is telling her, like, you know, hey, like, follow me, and understanding that, like, this is good. And so we just keep on going over the ground pole, and then I do a tight turn, and she follows me. So I was like, okay, I feel pretty good about this. And so I think we changed direction here. No, we just do a turn. So I gave her a treat, told her she's a good girl, and I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. So right here, all we're doing differently is just switching directions, so she understands that, you know, even if I turn one way, she needs to also follow me. So, excuse me. I had it like really loose, so she, like, would understand that she needs to follow rather than just, I don't know, not. So she's following me good, and I stopped, gave her a lot of love, gave her, like, a little break to, like, you know, reinforce, like, what she just learned. And I took her off the lunge, or not the, I keep saying lunge line, the lead rope, because she was doing really well, and I called her over. She came, and I was really impressed by that. And she's extremely food motivated, so that really helps. But then she was falling, like, right next to me, and I was like, okay, like, you know, we got this, like. And then I stopped, and then she so respectfully turned, and I backed up, and she, like, followed. So I was very impressed with that. Liza, you've done an amazing job with your horse. And yeah, so we're just kind of, like, walking, and I'm just kind of, like, reinforcing, like, what she's already learned, but with that she also needs to be reinforced with, like, me, because I'm new at doing this with her. So then I tried the pole, and she was kind of like, why are we just going in circles? And I was like, just trust me, honey. And she just decides to continue to follow my stupidity, and we halt. So now she's like learning that following is good. And then I decide that we should do a trot. So I put back on the lead rope because I don't want this to be a bad experience for her. If like something happens, something goes wrong, and it's just easier to like let her understand that, trotting next to me on the lead rope, like that's a normal thing you do, like, so that kind of like allows her to kind of get the concept that this is what we're gonna do, because this is her first time doing Liberty trotting wise. So I tell her she's being a good girl all while she's trotting next to me, and she's very, very responsive. So I was just having her trot next to me, so she knew like what we were gonna do, and it wasn't like weird and unfamiliar. And I don't do it for a long time. I just do it for like 2 laps, and then ask her to kind of move away from me. And then I reward her with treats and love, and tell her that she's such a good girl. And then I ask her to walk, and this is when we're going to trot some more. I can't remember if I take out the lead rope here. No, I don't. Okay. So then I'm just going to tell her that was so good, and I'm going to drop one hand off the lead rope, so that reinforces what we were just doing. And she doesn't like that the lead rope's swinging around. It kind of spooked her. And she's kind of like, guys, yeah, I don't really want to do this. So I was kind of like, come on, Panda. And she was just not exactly participating. We'll just call it that. So then I regrouped, asked her to halt, because trust me guys, it's not gonna be perfect on the first try. Told her she was good anyway, and then I asked her to walk, and then she decides that she wants to trot. So I was like, okay, we can trot now. And I held on to it for a second, and then I let go of it just to kind of see what she would do. And then once she did it like correctly, like first couple of steps, I let go, because I wanted her to understand that those couple steps are exactly what I wanted from her, and that she did so well. And then I took off the lead rope because I felt pretty confident, and I mean, I had the neck rope on, and if anything went wrong, we're in a round pen, and I suggest doing something in a smaller space rather than like a big arena where they could go anywhere. A fenced-in area, even if you don't have like a fenced-in area, make sure it's like even a pasture or something, just somewhere fenced in case they get loose. Because I promise you they will get loose. At least all my ponies do. And so we walked for a second, and then I asked her to trot, and she was so responsive for this literally only being her first time trotting. And she still had a halter on, so I could grab that too if I needed it. But she was such a good girl. And then she walked over this ground pole, and then I let her be done, because I was so impressed by her. Oh, we tried a little bit more. Oh, we tried over the ground pole, and then she didn't really want to. But she was like, yeah, no. But then I let her be done because she was just such a good girl. And I gave her a lot of love. Went back. She got a good brush in, and then I put her blankie back on. And I hope this helped you guys. And let me know in the comments if this did or didn't. And I'll see you guys next vlog.